One evening, I took a walk after dinner. 15 minutes. Slow. Nothing intense. When I checked my sensor an hour later, the reading was 30 points lower than the exact same dinner the night before when I'd sat on the couch. Same food, same portion, same time of day. The only thing different was the walk. I thought it was a fluke, so I tested it again the next night, and the night after that. 2 weeks straight, alternating walking and not walking after dinner. The difference was consistent every single time. That's when I stopped treating the after-dinner walk as optional. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why a short walk after eating drops your blood sugar. Not because someone told you to exercise, but because of what's actually happening inside your muscles when you move. I'm Ishmael, cybersecurity professional, type 2 diabetic. I don't have a medical degree. What I have is a CGM sensor, months of my own data, and a habit of testing things on my own body instead of just taking someone's word for it. Everything in this video I learned from watching my own numbers. Not theory, data. Here's what's actually happening when you walk after a meal. Your muscles are like a second system for dealing with glucose. When you move, even slowly, your muscle cells start pulling glucose out of your bloodstream directly, without insulin. Read that again. Without insulin. For type 2 diabetics, insulin resistance means your cells aren't responding to insulin properly. Glucose piles up in your blood instead of getting used. That's the spike. But when your muscles are moving, they have a back door. They can pull glucose in without waiting for insulin to unlock the door. Movement bypasses the broken system. That's not a fitness claim. That's basic muscle physiology. And it's the reason a 15-minute walk can do something that takes medication longer to do. You're not burning the glucose off like a workout. You're giving your body a second route to clear it. That's a completely different thing. Let me tell you what my sensor actually showed. On nights I sat down after dinner. Couch, TV, no movement. My 1 hour reading was regularly sitting at 160, 170, sometimes higher, depending on what I'd eaten. On nights I took a 15-minute walk right after eating. Same dinner, same portion. That same 1 hour reading was coming in at 130, 140, sometimes lower. That's a 30-point difference, consistently, over 2 weeks of testing. Now, 30 points might not sound like much, but here's why it matters. Every time your blood sugar sits above 180, damage is happening. Slow, quiet damage to your kidneys, your eyes, your nerves. It's not dramatic. You don't feel it, but it adds up over years. Shaving 30 points off your post-dinner reading every night, that's not nothing. That's compounding protection every single evening. Now here's the part that matters. Because knowing a walk helps is useless if you can't actually make it happen after a long day at work. Rule 1. Timing. The walk works best within 30 minutes of finishing your meal. Not an hour later, not before bed. Right after eating, when the glucose is hitting your bloodstream, is when your muscles can do the most work clearing it. Rule 2. Pace. You don't need to power walk. You don't need to sweat. A slow, casual walk counts. I walk around my block. Sometimes I walk around my house. The intensity doesn't matter much. The movement does. Rule 3. Duration. 15 minutes is my non-negotiable. I've tested 10 minutes. Some effect. 15 minutes. Consistent effect. 20 minutes. Slightly better, but harder to maintain every night. 15 minutes is the sweet spot between what works and what you'll actually keep doing. Rule 4. Consistency. One walk won't change your A1C. 15 minutes every night after dinner for 3 months will. This is a habit, not a hack. The compounding happens over time, not overnight. If it's raining, if you're tired, if it's late, walk around your living room for 15 minutes. Put something on TV and walk in place. The glucose doesn't care where you walk. It just cares that your muscles are moving. When I made the 15-minute walk non-negotiable, not a goal, non-negotiable, my after-dinner numbers changed. But here's what surprised me most. It wasn't just the 1-hour reading that improved. My fasting numbers the next morning were better too. Because when you blunt the post-dinner spike, your blood sugar settles at a lower level overnight. You wake up with a better starting point. It's a chain reaction. Better post-dinner reading leads to better overnight number, leads to better fasting glucose, leads to a better whole day. That's what I mean by compounding protection. One small habit every night, changing the entire trajectory of your numbers. I didn't change my medication. I didn't go on a strict diet. I took a 15-minute walk after dinner. That's it. And my sensor showed me the proof. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Finish your dinner. Set a 15-minute timer. Walk anywhere, around the block, around the house, around the car park. It doesn't matter where. Just move for 15 minutes within 30 minutes of finishing your meal. Then check your blood sugar 1 hour after eating and see what your sensor says. Don't take my word for it. Test it on your own body. That's the whole point of having a CGM. Your numbers don't lie. If you want to understand everything else your sensor is trying to tell you, the numbers, the arrows, the spikes, the patterns, I put it all in plain English in my book, Read Your Sugar. Link is in the description. Subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Drop a comment below telling me what your post-dinner numbers look like right now. I read every one.